So you want to be a registered dietitian? You are in the right place. My name is Jenny Westerkamp, founder of All Access Dietetics, and your host for Dear Future Dietitian, a podcast dedicated to helping you feel more confident in every step of your journey towards that RD credential. Thank you for being here and taking the time to listen to this episode and investing in yourself and your future career. I can already tell you're going to be a rockstar dietitian. Now let's get into it. All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming or listening to the Past Class Info Session. My name is Jenny Westerkamp. I'm the founder of All Access Dietetics, and I'm excited to share with you all the details around Past Class, our amazing, complete, all-in-one solution for passing the RD exam. I am going to talk today about the benefits of Past Class, what it is, show you a video that's kind of like a tour of Past Class, talk about the best time to start, timing. There's a lot of questions around like starting your program versus not. And then talk through the benefits of Past Class, everything that you get for the investment, and finally how to get started. I would encourage you to, for the live participants here, to ask questions throughout if there's anything that I can further explain. But we're looking at trying to go probably 25 minutes where I'll just kind of go through everything, all the different components, and try to answer all of your questions, but then have time for questions at the end as well. Let's get into the mindset, though. I think that really helps when you're thinking about the RD exam. It can be this very overwhelming thing that you kind of like a mountain that you have to climb as a future dietitian. And so I want to help tap into your why here, because I think that helps with the motivation around how you're going to approach the RD exam. So think about this. Why do you need help passing the RD exam? Like, why do people get exam prep in general? And if you have an answer for that you want to share, drop that in the comments. Like, why do people even get anything? And why is it that you think you need that help in passing the RD exam? So please share that or think about that answer. All right, we're hearing the pass rate is lower. It's about 60%, 65% for first-time pass rates. People want structure. It's an overwhelming process, and we want and need the most reliable information so we can pass in the first try. Those are excellent whys here. And then the second question is, what do you want to happen in this exam process? So what is that dream outcome? I think there's kind of an obvious one. So it's to pass the exam, right? But think further than that. So what happens when you pass the RD exam? How is your life going to change? And that kind of goes into, I should have been combining those two. But yeah, you're going to be more confident going into work. It's time since you've had some time since you finished your program and then are going into work. And so you want that refresher on many topics. You're going to start a new career. How else would life look for you if you passed on your next attempt, if I have repeat examinees in here, or passed on your first attempt for any first timers? Much happier, less stressful. Yeah, it'd be like over, right? You never have to think about the RD exam again, as long as you keep up that credential. So just that idea of being finally done. That really was my feeling. Like, it was like, it's officially over. I can go have my career how I want it. You don't have to follow all these rules and steps to get to the RD credential. It's like, I can finally go take control of my career. And yes, the end of studying. So great answers on those questions to get our minds right. So let's talk about the stats that we have coming into this. So we started with RD exam preparation in 2019. And since then, I think the number is now like 2,400 students have used what's in Past Class, all the different tools. We have gone through this whole journey and evolution with RD exam prep, where we started where we just had the study guide. And then we were like, oh, we really need to add videos because the videos really helped. And then we found, oh, if people use both the study guide and the videos, the pass rate was higher. And then, okay, now we have this 10% of people that aren't passing. How can we increase that? We need to add a community with a tutor, with access to a tutor. So it really builds up to where now we've been able to create this full program that addresses all these needs that we were seeing. And now we have a 92% pass rate with people that use Past Class. One of the key components of Past Class is that it's powered by the Study Smarter method. And that was the original, with the study guide that you get with it. the Study Smarter method is what really makes it different, because it's going to teach you a method to studying. It's not just like, hey, memorize this study guide and good luck. It actually gives you the strategy, how you break down your study sessions, how you create your plan, how you actually learn all of this material in a way that makes sense for the RD exam. I have other, free webinars and things like how to pass the RD exam. And one of the biggest components of it is knowing that the RD exam is testing you on your critical thinking skills. It's not testing you on just what you can memorize. And so that's why having a method that aligns with the exam is so important, because you need to study in the way that you're going to be tested. So the Study Smarter method is all about active learning, all about critical thinking and developing that skill in all these different topics so that you can best enter into that exam with those skills. All right, now I want to show you a quick tour. Here we go.
Hi, my name is Cassandra, and I'm currently using All Access Dietetics Pass Class to study for the RD exam, so let's take a quick tour together. In your Pass Class package, you'll receive their Pass the Exam Prep binder that is powered by the Study Smarter method. It's 650 plus pages, covers all 4 domains of the exam, and includes study guides, worksheets, and practice questions throughout to help you efficiently retain the information versus just memorizing everything. You'll also receive access to their Pass Class toolkit, which will be located in your Teachable account. It's a step-by-step guide that walks you through everything in a checklist format. And here you'll find your study guide, worksheets that you can print out and study with, as well as extra practice questions. In your Teachable account, you'll also have access to the Pass Class review session recordings, where you'll see all 12 of their 90-minute recorded review sessions on topics including research concepts, life cycle nutrition, nutrition support, and so much more. Here's a quick sneak peek into their nutrition support review session, and here's a clip of the PDF slides that come with it. And bonus note, you can print these out and study with them. Lastly, you'll gain access to their Pass Class community, which is an online platform where you can find a study buddy, ask questions, and get 2 video lessons per week with questions answered by our expert tutor. Here's an example of how our tutor Zach will go over a specific topic with practice questions. This is a complete program that will have you feeling less overwhelmed and more confident heading into the RD exam. Learn more at allaccessdietetics.com.
All right, so I just wanted to show you guys that demo so that you kind of understood the components of it from a larger view of components of Pass the Exam Prep, the study guide you get, plus the review session recordings, plus the community. So that is the really quick tour that's also on the Pass Class page on our website. So who benefits from Pass Class? We like to get to know everyone that's using Pass Class and, just all the different types of future dietitians that are out there and why they kind of come to us for a solution. So typical students are people that are just overwhelmed by all the different options there are out there. They're looking for a method or like a complete program or just like this strategy that they can use. They're nervous about their weaknesses. They're unsure how to even approach the exam or how to set up their studying. And they're possibly even looking for a new way to study. So we get a lot of repeat examinees that are like, what I was doing before didn't work. So I want something new and different that's proven and then that can work. The one thing that sort of frustrated me about the whole RD exam space, first of all, I felt like it wasn't just about everything you needed to know. It had to be how do you actually learn that and study that? So that was the first problem we wanted to solve. It was having that method. And then the second problem was I felt like everyone just mixes and matches. Okay, I'm going to do this study guide. I'm going to get this questions app. I'm going to join this community. No, let's just have it all in one and actually be at lower of a price than if you tried to mix and match from different sources. The other thing is, we keep things really cohesive. Our tutor who leads our community knows everything about the study tools that our students are using. So it's just this way better experience because everything's all in one. So that's why I say there's really a new way to study now. And this is how we've created Pass Class to be this complete solution with an evidence-based method, with the tutor-led community, the review session recordings, and the active learning study guide. Feel like these all hit on everything that we were hearing from students and examinees about what was missing in the RD exam prep space. So when you think about your timing of when do people start Pass Class, it does depend. So we do have a 8-week suggestion around if you are wanting to do this, we want you to have 8 weeks where you have just started studying and you have 8 weeks with past class. We feel like that is the minimum that we can suggest. Obviously, yes, people could maybe pass, use it in a shorter period of time and pass. It's all really nuanced because people have different backgrounds and levels of critical thinking and experience. And when did they finish their internship? Like would have like a bunch of questions to ask, to tell someone like when they would be ready. But we give this general recommendation anyways, just as like a starting point. So typically it's 2 to 3 months before their exam date, but you can start past class earlier, which I will talk about that. And then I do think like making that decision with your RD exam tools as soon as possible is helpful mentally, because it is something that's just sort of looming at the end of your program. If you are in a program and you're like, I just want to like know what I'm going to do for that. I know that it just helps a lot of people to reduce that pressure and know that you have this study plan. And there are actually ways you can use past class during your program to help too, if that doesn't overwhelm you, which I'll talk about next year. So a big question that I get is, when we think about past class, like, can you use it during your program? As a really quick background, we have partnered with about 30 dietetics programs in the country who provide past class to their students. And the thing about that is a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them are using the materials as references for rotation prep, which I think is fascinating. I think is really smart because you can use the study guides to prepare and get your knowledge foundation set for your rotation, and then you go and do your rotation, you learn how to apply that knowledge and you build your critical thinking skills. So it's a really nice match for that. But it is possible to start past class with like during your program or whenever you want to start it. And what we changed in the last few months that's really cool is you'll get access to the binder, the community, the toolkit, but with the review session recordings, there is a 12-week access limit. But we have it set up now where you can enroll in past class and then you actually go in and like start that yourself whenever you're ready. And you do that on your own so that you can get access to everything and be in there. And then when you're actually ready to dive in and study and start those 12-week access window, you can do that on your own. And it's really easy to do in the back end in your Teachable account. So we now get a lot of people that are getting into past class earlier, not waiting until they're ready to study because they can get access to all these resources and then control their access time on the videos and do that later. If you do want to just start your videos as soon as possible, there is the option to purchase additional access weeks for a much lower cost if you wanted to keep extending your access from there. The other thing about studying during your program is you can build more confidence for the exam during your program. But I always caution that you just have to know yourself and know if this would overwhelm you more or less. Like it's really different. For some people, they'd be like, yes, that would like help me with my overwhelm. For other people, they might have too much on their plate. It's really individualized. So again, I say both. I say it's an option, and I want to tell people how they could use it in their program, but I'm not saying everyone has to use it in their program. So just take that for what it is and like how that feels, how either option feels for you. And then if you're thinking, why is it worth the investment? That's kind of the next question that might go through your head. This past class program has been based on the feedback of thousands of examinees over the last 3 years. And we did a really good job, I think, of getting feedback from our audience. I mean, we were like, this has to be designed to address all the different ways that students failed the exam. And there are so many reasons why someone will not pass the exam on either that first attempt or whatever attempt they're in. And we wanted to address all of those. So, you're given this clear roadmap with this evidence-based method. You don't have to go out and buy more tools and be like overwhelmed by all the different things that you have to access. It's personalized to your learning style, and you'll learn about that with the Study Smarter method and how you do personalize the method to the ways that you learn. And there's a schedule as well schedules that can be modified to your schedule and personalized. It's designed so that it never feels overwhelming. It's actually designed to get you to be more confident earlier on in your studying, whereas I feel like you're always just not feeling confident throughout if you're trying to just memorize everything. For this, you're building on confidence because your retention is better because your learning is different, with how you're like solidifying concepts in your head. This also prevents you from procrastinating because this community is so active. We had, for example, we had like a weekly study hall that we always do weekly study halls, but we had one where it was like 45 people were in the study hall with our tutor, Zach, and he was basically going through practice questions, through things that people had questions with. It's like very helpful to be in that community and know that there's other people with you. I found like we would always hear that people were in their programs alone, or they were in their programs and then they were studying alone because they had graduated their program, right? Or maybe they didn't pass on the first try and now they're kind of on their own out there in their own island trying to motivate themselves to study. This community really helped with that in a lot of different ways, but in just getting them motivated was a huge part. And you do get access to a tutor through the Pass Class program. You do have access to ask Zach questions or things that come up, and he will answer those. And then he'll do mini lessons based on whatever the group is struggling with that week. So you have like that kind of group tutoring. There is the option to add one-on-one tutoring as well, which I'll talk about at the end. But overall, it improves your confidence mindset, which I think is the most important thing. You have to believe that you can pass. You have to feel good about your study plan, and that can really help when it comes to exam day. So here's how to get started. If you did want to enroll in Pass Class, you would go to allaccessdietetics.com/Pass Class, and you would be able to then enroll in the program, and you would then be able to, here, I'm going to drop the link right here. You would then be able to get access to all of your resources. Remember, I said that you can start that review session recording access anytime. And you do that, you activate that when you actually go to enroll in those review session recordings and they show up in your Teachable. And then you can join the Pass Class community immediately. There's 37 or so mini lessons that are already available that you can watch while you're waiting until you do your review session access. And that's it. And then you would have the option to add on tutoring from there. The tutoring options that we have right now, there's either a 2-hour package, which is used in a lot of different ways. It's either used to start off your study plan and just kind of assess like where you're at, go over your study plan with the tutor and get that individualized feedback. So that's something that people would do in those early weeks. And then the other option is the all-in package, which is if you want full support. It's like 5 tutoring sessions. There's the study plan call, the check-in calls, the exam week call just to address like test anxiety or any nervousness. And that's more of our kind of complete program. The other thing I'll say is that the 2-hour package can also be used at the end, where you can say, okay, here's a couple weaknesses that I just want to drill home with a tutor. And the tutor can also assess your readiness by, having you do some practice questions with them, and they can see, do you have that level of critical thinking that would be needed to pass the exam, and they can give you feedback on that. So you can see how you can use the 2-hour package either at the beginning or the end, or anytime in between. I mean, I'm not trying to say you can't use it then, but that's how people find the most benefit from that package. And then the all-in is you'd want to get that towards the beginning or at the beginning of when you did Pass Class, or whenever you're ready to actually start studying. If you sign up for Pass Class early, like in your program, and then your program ends and then you're like, okay, I'm ready to do it, then you can add the all-in tutoring. That is no problem. Here's an example of one of our people that passed the exam with Pass Class. So she said, having taken the exam more than once, I can confidently say that this program set me up for success. I was able to hone in on topics I was weakest in and understand the material to the best of my ability. I walked into the exam more confident, prepared, and ready to tackle it for the last time. I would not have done it without you all. Now I'm off pursuing a career as a neurosurgery RD. So that's just one example. There's more testimonials on our website, on our Instagram. So you could definitely check those out as well. So here's the pricing information. So the price for Pass Class is $497. There are payment plans available if you do want to spread out that payment. So you would get access as soon as you finish the first payment, but you can either break it into 2 payments, or we do take by request if you want to pay for it in 3 payments. So 2 payments of $248 or 3 payments of about $166 for that. We do have an offer for those of you that are listening that took the time to either come to this live or to be able to listen to this later. But I'm offering $20 off if you use code InfoSession, and we'll do that for the first 5 attendees that purchase. And I'll put that. Okay, and so then the final thoughts here, and then I'll be able to take questions. Overall, I mean, I hope you enroll in Pass Class. I hope that you think that this is a great fit for you. But overall, these are my suggestions, and this is how I designed how we designed Pass Class to really fit these. We want you to have a study plan. We want you to use a method that actually works. Memorizing is not a method. We want you to stay accountable. And, if you set up a plan, you stick to it, kind of thing. We know it's hard to self-motivate with something like this. So, you do want to stay accountable, and you want to go all in on yourself and your future career, and really tap into the whys that we talked about at the beginning of this session, where it's like, why is this important to you? And what would happen in your life? How would your life change if you went all in, invested, and, what would your life look like 2 to 3 years from now because you did that? So those are my parting words before we take questions. And finally, your homework, because I want to hold you accountable. I do think when you're shopping around for RD exam prep, it's it's an emotional decision. It can be, and it could be, an investment for you, a financial investment. And so you do want to reflect on your needs, what you need to pass the RD exam, and your budget. Determine that long-term impact of your investment. And really, if the decision is right for you, then make the decision and enroll if that's what you decided on. I would say trying to delay the decision when you do have all the information is something that just can add more stress to your life. It's more about, hey, you're here, you're gathering this information. It either is, for you, or it's not, and that's okay. But having that decision made is my kind of coaching advice for you, because otherwise it becomes really stressful. All right, and this is the code again for those of you that want to take advantage. The first 5 attendees, listeners live, you guys have an advantage because you're seeing this before those that are seeing the recording, but you can get $20 off with code InfoSession. Now I will take questions. So if anyone has any, feel free to throw them in the chat now. So I see a couple in there already. So I'll start with that. So Jennifer asks, what is the pass rate for those who use Pass Class? Right now, our pass rate is 92%. And that is for people that, use the method, follow the program. Obviously, people can buy the program and then not use it, just like you can buy a book and not read it. 92% when people follow the plan. Is Pass Class meant to be the sole source / resource for studying, or is it meant to supplement additional studying? We made this so it can be your sole resource, your only program for studying. People definitely do that. They definitely just use the content and the everything in Pass Class. But certainly people, I would say people maybe go on Quizlet and find other more practice questions to use the Study Smarter method on. So that would be the only other thing. They could do more practice questions, or they could do, if they really need to, they can do a mock exam, a CDR mock exam. We're working on a mock exam for 2023. It's not ready right now, so I didn't mention it, but maybe a CDR mock exam at the end would be the only other thing I think people would need. All right, can you compare Pass Class to Jean Inman? Yeah, Jean Inman, her study guide, it's it's really just the information. It's like all the information, kind of an outline form. It's not that as long. I think I would say like Pass the Exam Prep is different because it's not just the information. It's actually like explaining the concepts, and there's worksheets and study guide questions and practice questions. Like it's more of an experience with Pass the Exam Prep, whereas Gene Inman's is more of a here's everything you need to know, good luck kind of thing. And obviously like it's a good like reference tool, but our study guide is that reference tool as well, plus so much more. So you're kind of like getting more out of it. And it's more of an experience. So hopefully that answers the question. Let's see. If your program provides resources, do you recommend starting Pass class after you're done with the program resources, or is it meant to be used together? Yeah, if your program uses other resources, but you still want Pass class, people have done it different ways. I do think it could be like overwhelming to use multiple things plus Pass class. We have this testimonial on our Pass class website that's like, it's Tanya is her name. And she's like, I chose to use Pass class instead of what my program offered because I just wanted to do that. And she passed the exam on her first attempt. So I guess I just think I wouldn't want you to feel overwhelmed by all of these things, all these different resources. Obviously, yeah, it's hard to say beyond, because I don't know even what the resources are your program is offering. So it's hard to say for sure. But yeah, like I said, this can be a full solution. Right. What is the average length of time for most to get through the material? It depends on if you're, studying full-time, part-time, what your obligations are, but we say like 8 weeks is an average length of time. All right. What is the schedule for the group tutoring sessions? In other words, the 2 tutor video sessions every week. What time are those offered at? They do vary. Sometimes Zach will suggest a couple different times and people will vote on the times and see where more people can show up. They are recorded as well. So you are able to see those. You're also, when you get in, you're able to see like other recordings from his past sessions. So that was where like the 37 mini lessons come in. So you actually get like 37 video lessons immediately, and then you can attend the live ones as they are offered. And then how soon after purchasing do these sessions start? They are every week. So people are enrolling in Pass class almost every day, actually. A lot on the weekends, because that's when people usually have the time to enroll. But yeah, they are just rolling. So we're just constantly, people are starting the program, and we're just having these weekly sessions in the community. And then you have access to all these recordings and things that you can slot into your study plan as you go. Yeah, good point. Yeah, Inman has practice questions, but it would just be an info only thing. With the Study Smarter method, we teach you how to use practice questions differently than how you might have thought to use them. So that is also a difference. All right, great questions. So there's still a couple more here coming in. I'll be graduating this May. Should I start the program March? I'm already slightly studying, but would like to study more soon. There's nothing really holding you back from starting the program. It would just be when you wanted to start that review session recording. And honestly, like I said, Pass the Exam Prep could be a great resource for you for the rest of your rotations if you want to use it just as rotation prep when you're going in. So I wouldn't say like, oh, I need to wait until this certain time to when I'm really starting to study. You can just get access whenever you want. All right. And I haven't taken the exam, but say I purchased Pass class and failed the exam. Do I need to repurchase? No. So you get access to everything until you pass the exam, except with the 12-week review session recordings. If you wanted to re-up that, then there would be a fee to that, but it would be, I want to say it's like $147 for an additional 12 weeks from there. So you wouldn't have to like purchase everything over again. All right, this is a good question. So how would you suggest an approach for someone who is used to simply memorizing everything? Yes, so memorizing may have worked, or it probably did work for you when it was in concepts that were like less concepts. Like let's say you did an exam or even a final for a class. It was like not that many concepts that you had to memorize. So that worked out. But for the RD exam, there are so many concepts that the idea of like trying to memorize every possible thing and not really like understand it all is going to make it much harder to pass the exam. I mean, they're really not testing your knowledge in the RD exam. They're testing your understanding. I really shouldn't say it. So CDR has said that 2/3 of the exam questions are about if you understand, like your critical thinking, and then 1/3 is knowledge. So people can memorize and get these knowledge questions right, and then maybe guess, or know some of the understanding. But it's when you really understand everything and approach it that way that you're setting yourself up for better success, because that's what 2/3 of the exam will be testing you on. And then, yeah, Jennifer, if you're feeling overwhelmed with past class, just reach out to Susan at allaccessdietetics.com, or we've been sending emails probably that you can just reply to, and she can help you with that. Certainly, we're going to have this kind of like onboarding or orientation class soon for people, but yeah, we get that it's a new method, and we want to make sure you feel good. We want you to feel less overwhelmed. So just email Susan at allaccessdietetics.com. All right. What piece of advice would you give for someone who is working a full-time job and attempting to fit past class into their schedule? We do have sample study plans for people that have full-time jobs. So it would be, looking at those and being able to create your plan like off that template. It is possible. It's just, where do you fit it in? How do you make sure that you're getting all those hours and putting in that work? And then being okay with, whatever your timeline is. If you do have to study for a longer period of time, then that's all kind of in there and suggested to you, like how you would navigate that. But it is possible. It just takes a little bit more support, right, to stick to that. And even like a lot of our tutoring clients who are working full time, they do that because they need someone to hold them extra accountable for staying on their study plan because they have limited time. How do we request the 3-month payment plan? That would be by emailing. I'm going to drop in Susan's email here. That would be her, and she would send you that direct link to check out with the 3-month payment plan. Does the registration for the RD exam expire a year after you are first approved? And then you need a new registration? Yes. It's not like a bad thing to have to re-register for it. But yeah, I think you would have to go through that process again with Pearson VUE to do that. But you are still eligible for taking the RD exam. It's just a matter of registering with Pearson VUE, who just keeps people on for the year. So you're not really, I guess there's not really a pressure there. It's just kind of a logistical thing that you'd have to do before you take the exam. But I would also just encourage you to think about, why are you procrastinating, and could this program be something that can help you just commit to a plan and yeah, get through it. So we're here for you. We're here to help you guys pass this exam. We know that it's not the easiest at all. And with the pass rates kind of going down, it's like, okay, we are not okay with that. We want to create a program that increases the pass rates, that increases especially the first time pass rate, because, you put in all this hard work, and we just want to make sure you're set up for success. And we know that not all programs are created equal. So there could be different weaknesses depending on your background and your program. And we want to make sure you're fixing all those. And so that's what Pass Class is here to do. And then don't forget that if you do want to add on tutoring, you can do that as well. But we only offer tutoring within Pass Class. So you have to be in Pass Class to get tutoring, that add-on. And you can talk to to Christian, who is our enrollment coach, about tutoring. That information, it's actually all on the Pass Class page. If you do want to set up a call with him to talk more about that option, it's at the very bottom of the page. So I'll drop in the link one more time. And again, if you did want to take advantage of the $20 off, then you can do that. And the first 5 attendees that use it will be able to get that. So I'll drop this in here, and then that is it for me. But thank you very much for all of your great questions and for your interest in Pass Class. I hope this helped you understand the program, and we hope that we'll see you in the Pass Class community, and you'll be part of our cohorts of people that are passing this exam. So thanks, everyone.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Dear Future Dietitian. I hope you got a lot out of it, and I also hope that you take action based on what you learned today. Now, if you have any questions at all, please reach out to us through our website, allaccessdietetics.com, or DM us on Instagram or TikTok. We are here to help you become a more confident registered dietitian to be and make this journey way less stressful for you. So reach out, don't be a stranger, and we hope to hear from you soon. Have a great day.